you entered the college before the AI became a thing. So it's kind of graduated with an outdated degree.
The user interfaces of applications is going to diminish quite drastically, and it'll be the age of the APIs.
Software engineers who don't use AI daily will be functionally unemployable.
Yes.
It's happening. It's already happening. I'm seeing this. I think yes. Hello everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to another episode of Our Tech Chronicles podcast. Today, we're going to talk about bold projections for 2026. We haven't prepared for this at all. We're just going to go around chatting about what we think is going to happen in 2026 with all the advent of AI and how fast it's growing and becoming more and more useful in the workplace. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right, who wants to go first? What's your bold take?
All right. I think I'm going to start with something related to AI. I think all companies are at this moment working on some kind of AI project. And we are all trying to figure out how to leverage more and more AI to gain productivity in the organization. I think in 2026, some of the organizations will have more AI agents than human working for the organization. What do you guys think?
I can see that happening, especially in startups, right? And with this whole trend of interns finding it hard to get jobs as well, AI agents are cannibalizing that, right? So good one.
The reason, just to add to that, right? I think when AI first came, it came out like a generic capability. Like if you look at ChatGPT is a generic AI capability. But if you take an organization has this, very complex set of work that you need to get done. And it requires different set of skills. I think based on different skills, you're going to have a series of agents that can augment different capabilities. I don't think it's going to be one agent doing everything. It's going to be all these multiple agents augmenting humans' productivity.
I think so. Good one.
My bold prediction is not so favorable. I feel like the job title, especially associate and junior, is just going to be gone. So it's going to go one level up. So the expectations from companies will be very high for an entry job, that it's almost impossible for an internship or someone coming out of the college to attain. So there will be a lot of expectation in terms of what work the candidates have done that they can show for.
And why do you think that is, Sean?
Because AI is easier to convert into more productive resource than someone new coming into the company and having to train and also sort out other issues, right, with a human resource. Having to have conversation in a human level with AI, it's very easy. You basically give a massive amount of documents, and AI will read it and master it in one go, whereas it'll take at least 3 to 6 to 9 months in some cases to get any productive work out of typical newcomer. So all of this is driving companies to turn to AI solutions to get like basic level work done, that I think is going to impact new entrants in a very bad way. It's already
So what
happening.
you're saying is, like, it's not like companies gonna stop hiring, but they're gonna hire less of junior people. But they still might hire more experienced engineers.
Right. Exactly. And even with experienced engineers, they are definitely going to look for that AI skill set. So they have better chance of someone who is coming out of college, unless they are coming out of college with an AI degree or something very specific. I'm talking about general computer science degrees are now outdated.
So my projection is kind of along the lines of that. I feel universities, especially for certain programs, will have to radically change the way they offer degrees. Theory alone now is not going to cut it. It has to be bundled with industry experience, with AI, so that they produce a graduate that can be hired by these companies, which are not hiring anymore because they don't have no industry experience, right? So I feel the university curriculum and structure is going to change in 2026 so that it stays relevant.
Very
I think
good
that's a
point.
really good point.
I also observed that I think you probably can relate is a lot of youngsters are doing AI development, like bringing products to market very quickly with vibe coding and other things, whereas a seasoned or person who has done the classical computer science is struggling to adapt because they have to unlearn a lot of things in order to
Yes.
pick up
Or
the
correct.
AI skills.
Unlearn and relearn again, right? With
Yeah,
the new way of doing things.
exactly.
Yeah.
So are you guys saying like the people who entered the college before the became a thing, followed the old curriculum? So essentially, you kind of graduated with a kind of an outdated degree in the marketplace.
Unfortunately, that's what's happening right now, right? Sadly. So let's talk about that a little bit, right? So for students who have unfortunately gone through this change while they're in college, right? What are their options, right? One is maybe if they have the means, continue their education, but in a more relevant area that helps them be employed, or be lucky enough to join like a really small company to get that hands-on experience and learn the tools of the trade, right? They're not going to be able to pay their student loans, but it's going to take more time. What else?
You can do a startup, right? I mean, with all the
Oh
AI
yeah,
tools in
exactly.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bold graduates can definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say just last week alone, three parents reached out to me and asked for advice because their kids are coming out of college with computer science degree
Mm.
and they've applied to many places. I mean, none of them got a single reply, even like for screening or something, like complete radio silence. And they were
Ah,
asking, like, is there any, obviously they wanted to ask if my company has internship opportunities. Unfortunately, it's not there because either they are fulfilled or they've reduced the internship count drastically. So I felt really bad for the parents and the kids who are coming out of college. So the advice I was giving is like you guys said, Roshan and Asanka, is that I was asking a little bit more. In fact, I spoke to one of the kids and wanted to understand what they've done in the past. And this one particular kid is really good with firmware. So firmware software development in Java. So it's like a natural progression would be to do robotics or electronics using firmware writing. So that's a good niche market that they can target. But then you need to pick up another bachelor's or do masters with some credit transfer. So the
yeah.
kid was really hoping to continue the academia in the robotics sections. I think for that family it made sense because they can afford and wait a little longer.
Interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for
Um,
sharing.
Another prediction from me, I think the work will start to move more to the left of the product and software development lifecycle. Let me explain what I mean by that. Today, you typically have like product management or business analysts who would write the requirement specs, and then you hand it over to UI engineer to do some prototypes, and then it goes into the engineering and then testing and so on with vibe coding and then some of the AI tooling capabilities. Some of that work will actually happen upfront in collaboration with the clients or with the business partners because you can create specs and prototypes like with prompts,
Mm.
right? So I think more and more of that will happen to the left, and you will get a more refiner. I don't know what you're going to call it in the future, whether it's a use case or whether it's something else or a spec to the engineering level, right? You might almost get some level of coding done before engineer even look at it. So I think the whole life cycle of software development is going to change. That said, I think it's also going to differ whether it's greenfield or brownfield. If it is greenfield, I think there's much more work can happen on the left, but if it's brownfield, not as much, but I think still the work will shift more and more to the left. That means closer to the business, closer to the clients.
100% agree, Asanka. That's a great point because, I mean, even the discovery time period, right? Usually, when you have an idea, you basically go through the user centric design discovery. Even that is getting squeezed so much because now you have a collective mind that can even fill in the gap. Like, let's
Yeah.
say you did some user interviews, you came up with a few things, but now AI can fill up the rest of it because it has the collective information in the market that it can provide and then build the wireframes and make it functional.
Another projection, right? And I would love your take on this. I feel that resumes will die. I'll tell you why, right? Today, everyone is using AI to tailor their resume for particular jobs. So it's very hard to find someone who stands out, right? And the resume basically tells the recruiter or the hiring manager what you've done. I feel we're going to move away from this resume, or maybe it'll change about telling me what you did to show me what you did. The interview is going to be show me, where maybe they use an AI. It's going to be like a working session, because so much can be done now within an hour, right? I think it's going to be a very um, hands-on, AI involved interview process, I'm guessing. And so, but I don't know what's going to happen in the resume, but I feel it's dying.
I think
Uh,
that there's another side of things that could happen. There was a Gardner report, I'm trying to recall this. It said people will have to demonstrate ability to do like critical thinking, system thinking without the help of AI. I think that's going to be a core also, because especially if you grow up with AI,
Yeah,
you might actually lose that,
yeah.
right? So if you join an organization, like how are you going to actually operate as an independent person without AI support? Like what your core skill set?
Very true. Very true.
Going with what you were thinking, Roshan, earlier about the resumes will go away, I feel like there will be a new service going to come out, let's say from GitHub, that can actually anonymize the contributions the employees made to actually show, okay, this is the profile report. So I think employment probably is going to request that to see actual contribution to code base than talking about it. So that's one of the predictions I'm making. It's going to come out.
I mean, actually, you can just log into your ChatGPT account and then just ask, tell me about you. The
Yes.
ChatGPT will give you a real profile.
Yeah, bro. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Okay, another prediction. The user interfaces of applications is going to diminish quite drastically, and it'll be the age of the APIs.
That's a good one. I can see probably that happening, because my hot take is then related to yours. Hot projection is related to yours, Shan. I was saying in 2026, the age of the browser as we know it today is going to change. It's not going to be showing search results. Nobody cares about that. They'll be using AI first browsers that gives you the answer straight away, right? And so to give the answer, it relies on what you just said, Shan, because it'll have to go and
Exactly.
fetch
Tools.
data from different
Yeah.
sources,
Yeah.
come up with the sentiment, and provide an answer, right?
Yeah, and just to add to that, like Google's ADK, Agent Developer Toolkit, actually has abilities to directly integrate to Chrome browser. So if you're providing a solution, your agent can actually integrate to Chrome so that it knows about the application a lot more than how it used to be before, right? It's basically surface level tag finding, but this is going to be much more integrated to the browser that you actually don't need a UI. And also the advent of agent to UI being a
Mm,
new thing. I don't know if you've read
mm.
about A2 UI, is that AI can auto generate a UI specific to you. So gone are the days where we have like 100 fields and some of them are disabled. You don't really need to it's not relevant to you, but in the future AI is going to actually develop the UI for you on the fly. So why UI? Why spend time on UIs?
Here's another take of mine, right? I think as software engineering, I think the what it means to be a good engineer is going to change in 2076. It's not an engineer who turns out the most code anymore. In fact, I'm going to bet the best engineers are going to hardly write any code. They are the ones who are able to think in systems, as you said, Asanka, orchestrate all these agents to do the work and think through problems so that you're
And
guiding the
storytell,
agents correctly.
good storytellers.
Exactly. There you go. Right? Going to be quite
Good point.
interesting.
That's good.
Do you think the technical debt will increase or reduce?
Well, depth or the breadth?
I guess both. Because we are relying lot on AI. I'm wondering if it is actually introducing more technical debt because, you know, AI has its own mind, right? Way of
Yeah.
structuring things, way of coding things. We might not follow the policies exactly, the coding standard exactly. So are you going to see a variation in how we build things? As a result, we have, I don't know, more technical debt.
You bring up a really good point, Asanka, and I'm also honestly struggling with that. And this is how I see it, right? So already we're seeing engineers relying a lot on AI to write code. But so it's not about getting from 0 to 60 fast. It's about when things go wrong, right? And I'm seeing certain engineers also look to AI to tell them what went wrong and make the fix, which is great, right? Auto remediation. But it's the better engineers who actually are able to understand, no, this is not the right fit. This is just a band-aid, right? We need to look at X, Y, and Z, and this is the fix that we need to do. So for that, you need depth. You need the strong fundamentals, which the industry seems to be moving away, sadly, right? So maybe this is why we're seeing this shift from hiring junior engineers to more experienced candidates, because they have this knowledge, they're able to contribute, they're able to troubleshoot and guide these agents to do a better job. Because the agents really are the interns now. My
That's a
hot
good
take.
point. Yeah.
I could argue both sides.
Yeah.
Sometimes the depth is not really necessary anymore for generic stuff. Nobody is going to spend hours and hours like regular expressions like we used to do, right? We break
Yeah.
our head
Nobody.
with the regular expression.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
everybody will ask AI to say, okay, this is the pattern I want, give me the regex. So I think people are going to be knowing about these regex rules just as an example. No need to know the depth of that. But at the same time, I agree. It's only the ones that have really good depth of knowledge can pinpoint issues in the code that is going to bite us in the butt later on.
Okay, here's a prediction from Forrester, not from me. It says the AI hype bubble will burst, and 25% of the AI projects will get deferred or cancelled because they are not giving enough ROI.
But isn't there an MIT research that came out last year that said like 97% of the AI projects fail? Oh, that's different statistic.
I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
thought. But the
That seems like a
Forrester,
pretty high number though,
yeah,
97%.
Yeah. Go ahead.
and it makes sense. I think at earlier times of AI, people were like trying to figure out. So maybe the 25% is a growth from it. But yeah, I agree. People are like spending enormous amount of money without even knowing how much they're gonna recoup. How are they gonna recoup? Like monetization strategy. But here's a philosophical view, right? Um, AI adoption should technically reduce cost for consumers because if they're eliminating labor force and going for cheaper operational, then it should actually impact in price and everything should go down. But the problem is the price is going stable or increasing over time, which means the consumers are going to not have money to pay for those extra services, right? Because they are losing job, right? Most of them. So at some point there will be an equilibrium where consumers cannot pay, service providers have to do something about the price. Well, they've invested a lot on the AI, so the bubble is like inevitable, it's going to burst.
Yeah,
That's what I feel like.
we are really going through a FOMO moment, right? Nobody want to miss out on the
Yeah,
opportunity, that pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow. I think end of the day, the market will weed out the losers versus winners. This happened in every revolution or evolution cycle. There's industrial revolution. Now we are going through an AI
natural
revolution.
selection.
Everybody's going to invest, and whoever make the best return out of it is gonna be the winner. If you think about it, like how Google was behind in terms of AI, now they are ahead of AI, and then OpenAI went through this what is that, code red in the last few months because they thought they were really falling behind. They want to caught up with Google. So I think, market will decide, who's going to be the winner, who's going to be the losers of these investments, right? Some companies might go bankrupt.
But I feel like this is it's going to reach equilibrium, but it's not gonna disappear, obviously, right? Not like the NFTs and the other fads we had in the past, but this is truly being productive to us. But at the same time, there's another risk I see is that more and more the giant companies need more energy to run these AI solutions, AI data centers. So it's going to consume a lot of energy and depend on energy more than ever before. I think the chart I was looking at is like exponentially increasing, but it has to have a limit somewhere, right? Either they run out of the materials to build these chips or have not enough energy to continue. So at some point, it's going to reach a precipice, and then all it takes is one giant company to fail to cascade down.
I mean, the precipice you mentioned,
Yeah.
or maybe the ROI doesn't materialize
Yeah,
to justify the cost that the amount they're spending, right?
that's right.
And so, yeah, good.
Guys, to wrap it up, we are going to have some audacious takes on 2026 predictions. So you guys you have to tell me like what your take on this. All right, first one. In 2026, the best engineers will write less code than product managers. What do you guys think?
You know what? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes because we talked about it. You said everything is shifting more to the left, and I feel product owners will be writing some code to power their, or maybe they won't also, but at least they'll be doing more work to power their prototypes and give a functioning prototype to the engineers. The actual engineers would be just directing these AI agents to do all the work. I think it's more about reasoning than writing code anymore.
Sean, what do you think?
I would say, yeah, I would say not yet because the existing product managers have a lag, right? I'm sure new product managers might be doing that. That's my take.
Yeah, I would say they would definitely write more code, at least part of the code.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
You can
All right, next one.
actually call a Word document they are writing the story as code because that you can feed it into it. Yeah, but
That's
if you
true.
take that
That's
way,
true.
yes.
Yeah, it's prompt engineering now, right? All right.
Yeah.
Next one. Software engineers who don't use AI daily will be functionally unemployable.
Yes.
Yes.
I would say yes because it is also part
Yeah.
of the interview process now
Yeah.
that they have to show AI adoption.
I would say not just software engineers, like in general for
Across the board.
everybody. Yeah.
Across the board, yeah.
Yes. All right. Next one. Clean code standards will be deprioritized in favor of regeneratable code.
What do we mean by regeneratable code?
Like, remember when we were doing certain few AI demos, like when we had a bug, we'll go and tell the AI agent, like, go fix this. We don't really review the code. We just ask the AI agent to fix it. It will regenerate the code.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah.
with you. So because we used to spend a lot of time making the code clean than actually documenting what it's supposed to. But so the focus is now on the documentation of what the code is supposed to do so we can keep on asking AI to build it until we are satisfied. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yes. Roshan, what do you think?
I think it's naturally going to happen to some
I
extent.
don't know whether it will happen so fast. Lot of maybe for greenfield projects, probably. But for a lot of companies who have, I don't want to say legacy, old code bases, that part might be hard.
Remember, these are audacious takes. So.
Yeah.
All right, talking about legacy systems. Legacy system modernization will be faster with AI than greenfield development.
Wow.
I tend to say no.
I'm going to say no as well because of the complexity, right? They've gone through years and years of refinement and whatnot, right? To build to get it to this point.
I think even AI is going to have a hard time unwinding those legacy systems.
Correct.
Yes, because there's a lot of context outside the code that the AI wouldn't simply understand if you just gave the entire code base even.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to
Okay.
say no.
All right, the last one. The concept of a full stack engineer will disappear.
Actually, it doesn't matter anymore, right? Because with AI, they can. Yeah, I mean, I guess everyone is a full stack now, right? Or whatever. It's a generic engineer statement because they could, via AI, they could write front end, back end, apps, whatnot, right? You don't have to be specialized in that.
I'm with Roshan on that. Like, there's no use calling someone full stack anymore. Engineer is going to be an engineer, except for like data science engineer who's still going to have a specific skill set.
Oh, there are a few more good ones. I'm going to ask these two. Okay.
Okay,
I know I
yeah.
said last time. Okay. Microservices regret will peak and consolidation will dominate.
It's happening. It's already happening. I'm seeing this. I think yes.
I'm going to say no comment. I don't observe that. Like, I think microservices are still there and has a place, but Roshan, you're more closer than I am, so I agree.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Roshan on that one. All right. Next one. Observability will matter more than testing.
Ooh, more than testing. Wow.
I'll take this one. Yes, I 100% agree. More than testing, because observability is like fail fast and learn quickly and then fix it, as opposed to spending a lot of time upfront trying to test it, all like crossing the T's and dotting the I. Yeah, more emphasis put on observability, traceability, things like that.
You know,
What sounds?
I think with I think with AI you can actually do a better job in testing. Like you can automate a lot. You can reverse engineer, existing code, into unit testing. So I think more and more testing will happen. But that said, like it's gonna be dependent on the organization culture. Like what do they value, right? Let's see, anything else? Performance optimization will be delegated almost entirely to AI. Self-healing and self-fixes, self-optimizations. What do you guys think?
And I can see it happening, but part of me is like, not yet. I mean, it's an art as well. Like, it's always balancing trade-offs of performance, whether it's latency or availability. You have to make that you have to reason about it and make a choice. You can't just blindly say, "I'm going to make this change," because it could sacrifice your availability, perhaps, right? Consistency or something like that. So I'm finding it hard to say yes.
I'm with Roshan on that. I personally don't think it's happening or it will happen this year, because every business wants to know the upper limit before actually go and sell. And also, I think Roshan knows that there is no such thing as indefinite scaling, right? There's always going to be limit. Like, you might be calling a third party APIs that you have no knowledge of. So I think performance testing still has a place, and load testing, more importantly, and stress testing, that still needs to happen.
All right. Principal engineers will spend more time on strategy than design.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm going to say yes.
Unanimous, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, here's a good one. Human code ownership will be legally required in regulated industries.
What does that mean? Human code ownership.
Yeah, because the responsibility, if AI developed the code, there is a conundrum that legally you can't squeeze a neck, right?
Gosh. Right, you're
So
right.
it could happen. Yeah, I think it's likely.
Yeah, it could happen.
All right. That's it. That's a wrap up, I think.
That was
Fun
awesome.
one.
Yeah, fun one. Thanks, Asanka. Thanks, Shan. Let's do a review at the end of the year and see which
Yes.
ones actually
Yes.
happened or
That'll
not.
be a good one. Yes.
Yes. We should do it.
That'll be good. Cool, guys. Thanks a lot for this. Hope you guys enjoyed these bold projections. See you in the next episode. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye. All the best.